Hello! Welcome to JenPenCreations. I'm Jen. Today, we are going to be talking about our comfort zone. You know, the place where we always feel safe and cozy and no one can get us and nothing can do anything bad to us there. We're going to talk about our comfort zone and how sometimes it can be what's holding us back from success in this world. So stay with me and we'll get right to it. So many of us talk about stepping out of our comfort zone and growing in this direction or that direction, but there's so few of us who actually understand what that means. We as humans love our comfort zone. It's a safety zone for us, and it does eventually subtly start becoming a cage. Whether we recognize it or not, it really does. And we'll talk about those things. Let's start with the grand illusion of safety that we get with our comfort zone. So our comfort zones really start when we're infants. We love routine and predictability. That's what develops our comfort zone, is that knowing what's coming next, knowing how things are going to happen. Predictability is a big part of that, having a regular routine. And children and babies need those regular routines, but that's where we get it from. That's where our comfort zone comes from. But it's kind of a grand illusion. Honestly, perceived security or safety equals stagnation. We become stagnant in our lives when we just stay in that comfort zone, that safety zone that we have. We stop growing our brains and we stop learning and we just stagnate. Sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone and ask yourself, is this a safe place or is it just familiar to me and holding me back? These are things that we need to initially ask ourselves when we're in this place of stagnation and we feel like we want to break free, we want to move forward, but we don't know how to, and we don't realize that our comfort zone has very subtly turned into a cage around us. And now we're just stuck. Where do we go from here? What do we do once we know that our routine and predictability is keeping us stuck in this baby mindset? Why? Why are we in our comfort zone? Why do we stay in these places? What is there for us there? I mean, we know that there's no growth there. So why do we always stay there? Sometimes I wonder that myself. I get stuck in my own comfort zones. Actually, creating this channel was a huge step outside my comfort zone. I have such high anxiety, especially with social situations. Maybe that's why I can talk to you and it feels like I'm just talking to one person and it's just me and you in this room. And maybe that's my mind trick that I tell myself so that I can step out of that comfort zone and into actually creating content for my channel. I have been working and struggling so hard with this, and I'm very proud of myself at how far I've come and the fact that I've actually posted videos to my channel. I am going to tell you a small little secret. I had JenPenCreations channel created for over a year before I ever posted one video. I was so anxious. I had no idea what I was going to post or what I was going to talk about. I just knew that my therapist had told me that this would be amazing therapy for me. And my children had come to me and told me that they would really, really like videos about my life experience. And I mean, they want recipes and stuff too, but I've gotten to a point where that's a little tough for me right now. I don't like editing videos. I am not a video editor. I don't like it, but I edit. Don't get me wrong. I edit every single one of my own videos. I've only had help on one other video that I love the help that I got, but it actually ended up giving me more work to do in the long run. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I have a hard time editing recipe videos. So my children really wanted recipes and my life advice. Right now, we're going to stick with just life advice that I've learned in my years here. And I know that it took me so long. First of all, it took me about 3 years just to create the channel. Then, after 3 years, I finally created the channel. I made the channel and I put it all there, and I had no content. And it took me another year to even create my first video. That was a huge step outside my comfort zone. But honestly, it has been an amazing experience. I mean, I haven't really done this for much longer than a few months. It's been maybe 3 or 4 months that I've been here on YouTube with you guys, but I love it, and it has taught me so much. And every time I make a new video like this one today, I was freaking out before I push record. I always do, and I never know how the video is going to go, and I never know really exactly what I'm going to say. Everything on JenPenCreations right now is totally unscripted. I write some note. That's it. I write notes, and sometimes I look at them and I will study my notes while I'm talking to you, because this is a huge step outside my comfort zone, and I still need some of those small things like my trusty notepad to help me out in this situation. I don't know what I'm saying. Let's get back to on track with our comfort zone. Yes. Why are we stuck in our comfort zones? Why? Why do we constantly... I have a hair bothering me. Why do we constantly stay in our comfort zone? What is there that causes us to stay there? The fear of failure. Number one. The fear of failure is most likely the number one reason why none of us take that step forward. I know that was one of the reasons I didn't. Actually, I was scared of failure, and I was scared of being seen, I guess. Maybe it's that stage fright thing, because I think stage fright is like being scared of being seen. We don't want to be judged, and we definitely don't want to be judged by our failures. So those are huge reasons why we choose to stay in our comfort zone instead of stepping out of it sometimes, or most of the time, or all the time. We have this awesome ability in our brains to imagine the worst obstacles ever, and that's exactly what's going to happen to us. So we might as well just not do it because we're going to imagine this obstacle. It's like, well, what if this happens? Well, what if that happens? Well, what if this? What if that? What if this? What if that? All of those what ifs become never wills. And you just don't ever do things. Actually, it kind of reminds me of that country song, What If? He says, what if the sky falls? What if the sun stops burning? And he says, well, we can worry about these what ifs when the world stops turning. He's like, why worry about these what ifs? What if the good things are the things that happen? You can say, what if you hurt me? What if you leave me? What if you choose somebody else later on over me? Well, damn. What if we do work out? What if I kissed you and you liked it? What if it actually worked out? Why are you letting all these negative what ifs stop you from taking that one risk that could change your whole life? Step out of your comfort zone just that one time. It could change your whole life. And that's amazing. That can be something just fantastical that happens to you. All because you gave up that fear of judgment and that fear of failure, and you embraced that one chance, that one opportunity that you got, and you jumped on it, you took it, and it worked out for you. I understand that as realists, or even well, especially pessimists. Pessimists don't think anything good is going to happen in their life. Realists, they believe we have to prepare ourselves. Prepare yourself physically and mentally for the worst that could possibly happen. Now, you don't have to convince yourself that that is actually going to happen. You just have to prepare yourself for it to. Because if it's in the realm of possibility, it could happen. The worst could always happen, but it very rarely does. So instead of being like a pessimist and thinking the worst is always going to happen to me, you can prepare yourself for the worst possibly happening to you. But we put our hopes in the best. We put our hopes where things might actually work out for us. Now, we don't want to be optimistic because optimists get let down a whole lot, okay? I know that this world is not all sunshine and roses and hearts and unicorns, okay? Yes, that is my favorite stuff. I love rainbows and hearts and unicorns and stars and flying kitties through space. I love that stuff. I want the whole world to be happy all the time. I would roll over 1,000,000 times to get my version of world peace in this world. I think that I'm a very happy, optimistic, I don't really want to say optimistic because I'm not really optimistic. I don't believe that good things are happening all the time. I like to consider myself a realist with a lot of hope. I have a lot of hope in this world that good things can happen to us if we allow them to. If we think good thoughts, we say good things, we do good things for other people. If we put out the good we want to see in this world, we'll start seeing it. So step out of your comfort zone and start growing instead of being stagnant and sitting around. Because honestly, there are costs to being stagnant and sitting around. You miss all those opportunities that God or the universe or whatever you believe in is putting in front of your face. You're going to miss all of those opportunities because you're sitting there stagnant thinking that everybody's judging you and you're going to fail at everything. Well, that's not true. Not everybody's judging you. Some people do. Not everybody. Most people are so wrapped up in themselves that they don't give a flying fuck about you and what you're doing and you're stepping out of your comfort zone. Honestly, the best thing I ever did for myself was step out of that comfort zone and start making videos. Because I realize that there's really not many people watching them right now. And maybe that's not a good thing, but maybe it is. Honestly, I think that it's a fantastic thing because I can really grow in any direction I want to. I like being able to talk about what I want to talk about. Stepping out of my comfort zone has opened up so many more opportunities for me. I don't feel like I'm sitting around being stagnant and missing things. I'm not missing out anymore like I was before. I felt like I was just stagnant and missing out on everything because I wouldn't put myself out there. I was terrified. Fear will paralyze you. If you're paralyzed, you can't move forward in this world. And honestly, the only time we as humans really ever feel productive is when we're moving forward. So stop being stagnant. Grasp those opportunities. Stop missing them. Another thing that stagnation does is that it will continue to dull your emotions and intelligence. If you just sit in one place all the time, you never talk to anybody new, you never go to any new places, you don't leave your house you can leave your house, but you don't ever step into any new situation, you are dulling down your own intelligence, your own emotions. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to be emotionally dull? Why would you want to be intellectually dull? Sitting in just your comfort zone makes you that way. Small spaces where you keep yourself and your brain will keep your mind small. You can't have an open mind if you're stuck in a cage. Your mind can't grow. Think about those chickens. I mean, I love chickens. I have 6 of them in my backyard and I love them. But think about all of those chickens in those big factory farms. I know that there's new laws going out to where they need like a certain amount of space for pecking and stuff, but most of them are still not getting that. And you have to realize that most of these chickens only get a cage. And they're in this cage and they're stuck in this little cage. This was like before all those laws about free range and whatever, and now egg prices have gone up. Before that, we had chickens in little tiny cages that couldn't even move enough to grow. You can't grow when you're in a cage. When you allow your comfort zone to become a cage around you, you end up like those chickens in the factories. You can't grow. You are miserable and stuck. You get to a point where you're so stuck in your misery and your grief and your comfort zone, your cage, comfort zone. Your comfort zone cage. That's what it is. You get stuck in that comfort zone cage and suddenly you have no confidence. Your confidence has been eroded because of that cage. Your abilities have been stunted. Your intellectual abilities have been dulled. Your emotional abilities have been dulled. You get to a point where you start doubting your own capabilities. Like things that you have done already. Things you know you can do. You start doubting those things. How do we break free of that? Let's get out of that cage. Let's get out of that dullness. Let's jump that trap. Let's just jump over that trap of comfort zone. It's nice to be in your comfort zone every once in a while, but you need to jump out of it most of the time so that we can gain new opportunities and grow. The best way to start is with very small, intentional steps to take you forward. What do you feel like that day? Maybe it'll just take you getting in your car and going to the park to take a walk. That is totally out of your comfort zone because there's a bunch of people outside. It's very people-y out there. And what if they judge me? I don't want that. Why would I want that? I don't want them to judge me. I don't want them to see me fail. What if I can't make my whole walk? What if I have to turn around in the middle of it and go back to my car? Because I get weighted down by all of the overwhelming feelings. Okay, so you took half a walk. Hey, you know what? You made it to the park. You stepped out of your comfort zone and you did it. That's all it takes. Those tiny little micro challenges will help you make big leaps and bounds out of your comfort zone. You just have to start small. I mean, isn't that what Yukon Cornelius said in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? You just put one foot in front of the other. Next thing you know, you're walking across the floor and put one foot in front of the other and soon you'll be walking out the door. Like it's just those tiny little micro steps that you can take that will subtly change your comfort zone from out of being a trap. You take little tiny steps outside your comfort zone, that's all you need to take to keep your comfort zone from being the trap. You don't want to dull your intellectual abilities. Come on, that's like being on the Atkins diet. It is so not good for you. You starve your body and your brain of carbohydrates and your brain can't function. That means you are dulling your intellectual ability. Don't do that. Actually, that's kind of dumb. So we don't want to do that with our comfort zone either. We need to learn how to embrace discomfort. It's hard to embrace discomfort because it's uncomfortable. How do you embrace something that's just really uncomfortable? It's a hard one. But if you can learn how to do it, if you can learn to see that discomfort as an opportunity to grow, you can start embracing that discomfort and running towards it. You can just run to it and be like, hey, if I step out my comfort zone right now, I'm gonna grow today. And you will. You totally will. You'll grow here. You'll grow here. And you might actually feel a little better because you're not trapped anymore in that comfort zone. You're not trapped in that emotional dullness where you can't ever move and grow and you're just stagnant and stuck. I mean, stagnant water attracts mosquitoes and algae and snot-like stuff and bacteria and grossness. Anything that's stagnant just collects grossness. I don't like thinking that my life could collect a bunch of grossness if I stay in my comfort zone and stay stagnant, but that's really what it is. That really is what it is. So, learn how to embrace, run after that discomfort. As soon as you see an opportunity to step out of your comfort zone, you take it and you run with it and you learn. It is an opportunity. Every time you step out of your comfort zone, you are jumping into an opportunity that can brighten your life and better your life in so many ways. So instead of being scared of failure and judgment, learn how to shift your lens on your fear. Learn how to shift it to excitement. I mean, still fear, but facing everything and rising from it. That kind of fear. The kind that helps you move, helps you jump out of your comfort zone, helps you move forward. You need to learn how to shift your lens to something better. Let it see the opportunity. Instead of letting that fear hold you back, let it motivate you to jump forward into that fire. Those are the things we need to do. We need to take small little micro steps to make big changes in our lives. You do tiny, tiny, tiny little steps outside your comfort zone can be huge impacts for you. You just have to start. So I'm glad that you stayed with me. I hope that you can start making those tiny little micro decisions to start jumping out of your comfort zone. Don't get trapped by your comfort zone, or don't stay trapped by your comfort zone. Jump out of it today. Go to the park. Say hi to some stranger you don't know. Smile at somebody. Buy a donut for the person in line in front of you at Krispy Kreme, or person behind you in line at Krispy Kreme. Buy their coffee or something. Do something nice for somebody today. Step out of your comfort zone, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.